Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Simon, the Grand Cat McGoldrick. I'm your French national champion, and here we're going to do a deck review of the deck that won French nationals. First off, two shout outs. A shout out to Robert Walker, who's one of my closest friends, who, without the playtesting against in the weeks leading up to the French nationals, I wouldn't have been able to win nationals. And secondly, a shout out to Faisal, who not only playtested Oni versus Oni for me, because I only had one Oni deck, he also let me borrow the cards for nationals, even though I got them on the day of Buddyfight Nationals. So my deck was incomplete until the actual day of the French Nationals itself. On to the deck review. Right. So we're going to start off. First of all, 4 Kidabuki. Focus. There we go. Because I've seen some people run 3 Kidabuki, but no, you absolutely need to run 4. It is essential to the deck. One Sturdy Oni, who I've called Melrose. He knows why. Never mind, it's a friend. I found he isn't really necessary, but it is. You do need that guy that has Soul Guard early game, especially against very specific decks. This works wonders against Thunder Empire and against Dry and even against Prisms. Not so much the Oni mirror match itself. Anyway. Next is Red Lady Oni. Is it Korea? Absolutely essential. This is the thing that reuses all your monsters. If this didn't exist, you'd have to play like an extra 15 monsters. Because this card exists, you can get away with playing majority spells. Rashomon, who is one of the big necessary cards for the deck. Size 2 move Soul Guard. The fact he has a move and Soul Guard is ridiculous. I mean, the size 3 does as well. This guy's only 1 gauge to play, and he gives himself a Soul Guard, without reducing any cards from hand. Card is absolutely ridiculous, especially a map combo you can get off of just him by himself. Next, this guy, Io. He's absolutely ridiculous because one of my good friends, Robert Phillips, he played 4 of these in a row, or 3 of them at least in a row, against me in round 6. Always calling it to the centre, because once it dies, you call the next one through ambush, look at the top 3, put one into itself, and then it dies, and then you call the second one that you just put into the top 3. It's insane that you've not once per turn. This size 0, this is my buddy. Yeah, buddy. I've seen some people play him at 3, but the draw card is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's freeze call, he's a size 0 always. He's always going to be relevant on the board, whether you've got the size 3 or whether you've got a size 2 and a size 1. Whether you have the weapon or not, this thing is absolutely nuts. These 2 guys, right? I'll only play one of each of these. Yes, I stole the idea off of Vishal. Another good friend of mine. Vishal just recently won Indonesia? Philippines? I can't remember. We won one of them, so I'll be meeting him at Worlds. So this guy is on ambush, pay a gauge, destroy an opponent's weapon. Not necessary against every single deck. It doesn't do anything against Thunder Empire, I mean, whose weapon can't be destroyed. It does destroy the double attack one, but they don't want the double attack weapon, so if you're destroying it, you're actually helping them. This guy who's pay a gauge to search a weapon, the reason you only play one of this and you don't play more of it is because you can put him into Soul via the impact, you can put him back into the Soul via Banquet of the Righteous' second effect. There's so many things, and we only play one of Yagyo, who is on call, remove a soul. If he's called from ambush, to remove 2 souls. Not every deck plays Soul Guard, but if you're against one that does play Soul Guard, you want one of these at least. And we do side 2 of this guy. A lot of the time, like the size 0 gets sided out because he's not really necessary or relevant, and a lot of the times this guy gets sided in because he's good against. I played against a size 3 Sun Dragon deck, and this thing killed Baldur's Slay for me. He's good against Jaeger, he's good against Prism, he's good against... there's other ones. There's lots. But I mean, there's an equal number of decks that he's not good against, so you have to... you have to play it by ear. 4 of this set spell, because god damn is it ridiculous, and there's no way to search it. If this was searchable, the deck would be even more ridiculous than what it already is. Thank god it's not searchable, actually. Put a card from your hand into the soul of anything, and then draw a card. So I mean, it draws a card, which is ridiculous in itself, and it lets you get off all of your ambush effects. Banquet, which is really stupid. There was only 2 or 3 times that I used the effect to look at the top 3, and really do it turn 1, and if you're desperate, if you don't have any monsters. Other than that, you almost always use the second effect to put a card from your drop zone into the soul of a thing. And obviously if you've got 2 of it, then you just gauge and drop 1. But why do I play 4 of it? Because it's absolutely essential. I mean, this card, mixed with this card, mixed with like a Rashomon, means that this thing has like, like 4 or 5 soul, like turn 1, and then the opponent just never ever kills you. Then you start playing, essentially dual Jaeger, except size 2. And all of the ambush will have effects, so it's really stupid. This one is your attack nullify, and if you want, you can discard a soul to regain 1 life. I find myself not often using the remove 1 of the soul, like just keeping the board on field, letting the opponent attack into it a second time. Just negates 1 of the attacks. So yeah, this is really just a negate attack, but it's nice that it has the additional effect. This thing, absolutely ridiculous. Remove a soul, gauge 1, draw 2, and then you get the remove soul effect. Whatever your ambush is, or your spell effect or whatever. Yeah, absolutely necessary. There's no reason to not play this at 4 unless it's banned, or 3 or something. You would always play 4 of it. Snake is absolutely essential to the deck. Kills so many decks. It's unbelievable how many. It's straight up you stop bats from attacking, so now they don't have their 3 attacks. They don't do their bat 6 link. They don't get their impact. You stop dual Jaeger. So he comes on the field I've got triple attack, and you've got none. Okay, they pass. It stops impacts. I'm Abigail. I've got 6 crit, and my attack can't be negated. Well, it can be arrested. Okay, I guess it's your turn then. It stops everything. There's almost nothing that this doesn't stop, and it's PL life. It's not even peg gauge. It's insane. Next is this card, 3. This is the first card we're not playing 4 of, I think. Well, apart from the grade 3 and these side ones. This is the first spell we're not playing 4 of. It's either engage the top 2 cards of your deck and gain 1 life, or if this is put from the soul of an Oni, you gauge 3 instead. Almost always whenever you play the impact, this is one of the 2 cards you put into the soul, so that you've got enough gauge to do the rest of your stuff, so that you can pay a gauge for this and then put something into the soul and then pay a gauge for the other one, or you pay 2 gauge for this, destroy the opponent's monster, then you've got additional gauge and things. So this thing, yeah, the only reason it's not at 4 is because there's no after you've used it, you generally have enough gauge to last you the rest of the game. After you play one of these things, that's your general setup. Nothing's really expensive in this deck. Ibuki is pay 2 gauge, and the rest of this is almost, with the exception of the impact itself, and the impact replaces itself, because it's pay 2 gauge for the impact. This guy gauges 3, you really just gauge 1. Hades Fall, yeah, absolutely stupid. Hades Fall, you put any monster into it, your opponent calls 1, you flip it, you destroy, they take 2 damage, you get your ambush effect off, you've got the weapon equipped, you pay a gauge, and then you destroy the other card in their field. It really just ruins an opponent's day after you get this off. The only reason it's being played at 3 of is because not really as necessary as you think. I don't know how best to describe this. You have to know how to play the deck properly. But yeah, not essential to play it at 4. Generally, if you've got 4 of it, you'll find, having 2 of this, you'll find is unnecessary. If you've got 2 in hand, you'll probably gauge and draw 1. The next card is this thing, and oh my god, is this stupid. Put a soul from an Oni, destroy a card on the opponent's field. That's not monster, that's card. So I was destroying the opponent's items, I was destroying the opponent's, set spell like this. I was destroying Prism's items. It works against everything, There's no reason to not do this, against bats, bats declares an attack, you pay a gauge, or you remove on the soul, you destroy their size 1 they've got, it reduces their attacks. Yeah, it can work against anything. Benefit, this card is absolutely crap. I played 2 of it because Vishal did. I'm an idiot. Don't play Benefit, it's crap, it's useless. I would take this out of the deck. I sided it out almost every single game. This card is 100,000 times better than Benefit is. It's destroy a size 2 or less, engage the top card of your deck. In fact, actually, it's put a size 2 from your field into the drop zone, so it's not even destroy, so you can't even get it off your soul guard. You almost never use it, Generally, I was just using it, to waste a card in my hand, I find myself gauging and drawing it a lot. It's pointless. It's a 6/3 card deck. If I could do it again, I'd cut it down to 61, take these 2 out. 3 of this item. Why am I not playing 4 of it? Because this guy exists. And this guy can be put into soul via this card and via this card. So really, like, having 4 of it is not necessary. Why am I not playing 2 of this weapon and 1 of the other one? Because the other weapon sucks. This one is the good one. This one is the on-call from ambush, pay a gauge, destroy an opponent's thing. You're never going to use the effect of when this card attacks, put a card from your hand into the soul of a Oni. It's never going to happen. This thing is just 100,000 times better. And also, see that plus 1,000 power? That is what got me to win over Dragon Dry. Because Gain has 12,000 defense, 12,000 plus 3 plus 9 is 12. And 9 plus 3 is also 12. So, link attack. Game. Couldn't do anything to stop me. This is my thing. I came, I was the first person in line, so I got the little number 1 flag, buddy, life points. Okay, quick shout out to Colin Crazy, who won the spring circuit. I was going to save this for Huddersfield, didn't need it because now I'm French national champion, so not required. This guy sided in against anything that I felt weapons was necessary against. I found myself, I don't think I even sided this once in the entire tournament. This guy I sided in all the time. In general, what I sided that was 2 benefit and 1 of the destroy item if I felt it wasn't necessary. There was times when I was siding out against decks that don't have soul, I was siding out the 3rd one of this guy and putting in the 2nd one of this so I can destroy the item. That's really, I did use that a couple of times actually. Now that I think about it, that's really the only reason for both these guys. This thing, pay to gauge, return a monster. Return is necessary because it's not destroy. I sided them in exclusively against bats, just to stop bats. This thing, pay 2 life, again, is sided exclusively against Thunder Empire. In fact, actually, this is pot 1 nationals because I attacked bats, opponent played Dragobond, I paid 2 life, and he was like, okay, well, I guess bats dies, and I guess I lose from this point onwards. That's how game 2 ended. And this thing is sided in against Executioner. Destroy a spell on the opponent's side of the field because, of course, Gate of Judgment is so necessary for Executioners. If you get rid of it, turn 1, it really, really upsets them, especially if they don't have another one and there is no way to get it back from the drop zone. You can search it from your deck, but if they run out of gates, then that's them, they're screwed. And generally, if the opponent opens with multiple gates, they'll occasionally draw them. They won't keep hold of gates in their hand. Thinking that this could be destroyed, I better keep hold of it. And that is the entire deck list. If anyone has any questions, feel free to message me, and I'll do my best to respond to you.